All right, I am here at Galacticon with Matt Haslam.
Matt Halsam. Hey, that's me. That's me. I want my autograph.
He's a visual effects artist that has worked on many a movie, including Crow.
Yep.
It's right in front of me, and I can't. It's the afternoon.
If you want, we'll actually do the IMDb link, and you can actually attach it. But yeah,
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
I can do that.
I've done a couple cool things.
just a few. Speaking of a few cool things, what is one of your favorite pieces that you've worked on?
Oh, one of my favorites. For flashiness, it's got to be Matrix Reloaded. Like coming up and handing me a napkin sketch and saying, here, build this APU. It's like, what is this thing? And having them give us just one little drawing, but then give us, more detailed stuff later was fun because we knew what the project was, but getting that completed and having the maquette sitting on the table in front of us afterwards, that was pretty surreal because we knew where it was going. And it really is fun when you hear where it's going to be, thinking, I'm going to be a part of that. That's epic, Or also Virus, working on the show Virus with Jamie Lee Curtis, Billy Baldwin, Donald Sutherland. That was fun, for not the least reason of which is because they're on the show and I got to meet them, but also the scale of the miniatures was awesome. The Volkov was 47 feet long, and when we had it all tuned out to float in the water correctly, it was 29,000 pounds. And so
wow.
People think, a model, a miniature is something you just put on a table. Technically, a miniature is anything that is any percentage smaller than the original. And that ship, the Vladislav Volkov, was patterned after the USS Vandenberg, which was a real Navy ship. And it was something like 660 feet long. And they actually got the use of that ship for the project. So we got to take plenty of pictures of that and modify our ship to match it.
That is, wow. That was a lot more in depth than I was anticipating. That is.
Oh, I have so much. We could do a whole series.
I feel like I could do a whole 5-hour documentary just with you sitting here talking.
It's hard for me to keep it down if I've got like a 1-hour panel. Yeah.
Oh, I can only imagine. Because I know you also do a lot of on-site location shots with working with the props. What are some of the difficulties with being on location trying to get these props to work?
Oh, weather, breakage, all sorts of ancillary problems, especially if you're working with animals and they don't cooperate. But yeah, it's in lighting. If you're out in the open, you actually have to supply your lighting if it's changing to maintain a certain look. But day versus night they're just fundamentally different. So you actually have to account for that in how you're filming. That's I think one of the biggest challenges. Like at least doing live action. If you're doing miniature work and everything, most of the time that's going to be in a controlled space. So once you get the lighting and the conditions the way you want it, you can kind of emulate that as you're going.
What's one of the more favorite locations you've been to, whether it's other countries or specific cities or even within the States or abroad?
That's the non-glamorous part. I really haven't been anywhere other than Hollywood. But I mean, being behind the scenes on a movie set in general is just really cool, and I've been able to work on stuff at most of the major studios. It is awesome to go in and be a part of a project, and they got security and they're like, okay, stop, who are you? And I'm like, I'm going to stage 12, I've got this and that I'm working on, here's my pass, and you've got 15 other people going, hey, I want to get in. It's like, no.
It's like well, I think what we were talking earlier off camera, it's like the humbling experience of I'm somebody, but I'm also no one at the same time.
Yes. Well, and in my case, that's cool for a different reason. Number one, the stuff I do is really cool. And when somebody learns about it and they want me to tell them about it and they learn what I do, there's that cool factor, you know, and I'm not immune to that. I still to this day geek out at my own stuff sometimes. But on the other side of the coin, if I want to go down to Starbucks and grab a coffee, nobody's going to know who I am unless they've met me before. I'm starting to get people recognizing me from cons, but that's nowhere near like Tom Cruise coming in and, you know, getting a coffee and everyone being like, oh my God, it's Tom Cruise, you know. They don't go, oh my God, it's Matt Halsam, you know.
Yeah,
So,
it's kind of like you get like a little bit of both worlds in a sense, as long as because you've worked on these massive projects, but you don't have to worry about having a security detail to go grocery shopping.
That is correct. That is correct. And I don't know actually how I would work if I did have to do that. I know when you go in as a celebrity and you sign away your personal life because you're going to be in the public eye all the time. I think you have to understand that's going to happen, you know. And there's still a way to preserve your private life, but there's a portion of it that's going to be public. I can choose to not go public at all if I want and keep that privacy, or go out like this and be like, hey, this is me. This is what I do. Come talk to me, you know. Yeah, here's my stuff.
Yeah, because I think this is also a really great way for anyone who's interested to get into the art form, because it's not as prevalent as it used to be with digital art, with CGI and all that. So it's kind of like, I guess, in that of like a good way to like help continue at how to get into it.
It is indeed. And I actually had that very question asked at my panel earlier. It is daunting to, if this is what you want to do, like if you've gone to film school and you know you have aspirations to go do this stuff professionally, it's good to have the education, but then you're like, okay, well, I really want to get ripping on this, and then you're hearing crickets and you're like, how do I do this, you know? And my story is a little bit of a Cinderella story. I kind of fell into it backwards. I was working under the table at a hobby shop in Burbank. It's Burbank's House of Hobbies. It's actually been in the news. You know, they've actually had all kinds of neat stuff happen there, and I'm like, hey, I work there. But I had a guy come in who worked at Fantasy 2 Film Effects, and he was wearing this shirt that said that on there, and I was like, hey, what do I have to do to come work at this place? And he arranged an interview with Gene Warren Jr., who owned the place. You know, my jaw hit the floor because I knew who he was, but that turned into, you know, we can offer you 3 weeks of work, but don't quit your day job. That's all we can offer you right now. So I went back and I said, hey, I need a 3-week leave of absence. I want to come back and, you know, work afterwards. And they're like, no, we can't give that to you. So I quit my day job. that was in 1994, and I've been there ever since.
I was about to say, it doesn't seem like you've looked back. But let's look to the future now. Any big projects that you're working on that you can talk about that you're interested in?
Well, I'm actually, Blind Beagle VFX is a new company that Gene's sons have started, Chris and Gene the third. And we are actually kind of picking up where Fantasy 2 left off, but under a new moniker. And when we get fully locked in and loaded, I'm going out there to run the model shop for them. We already have had some stuff from Francis Ford Coppola, who actually pulled Blind Beagle VFX in to do some stuff for Megalopolis.
Nice.
So the moment we opened our doors and he heard about it, he pulled us right out of the gate. Nice. So we've got that working. The most recent thing I did, I actually made a sword for Gamora for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I've got some pictures of it being used for publicity purposes, but it never made it on screen. So I was like that close to working on a Marvel movie, but it didn't quite get there.
Right, it was like so close, but yet so far.
Yeah, but in the meantime, some of the outfit I work with right now, we're working on different Star Wars helmets and stuff, and they've actually been in, like most recently, Andor, Kenobi, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, like the Rebel Fleet Trooper helmets, the TIE Fighter helmets. The originals of those were made by Faraway Creations.
Nice.
And that's where right now I'm actually putting in time helping them, keep the helmets cranking out and everything. They also do armor and stuff.
Nice. Well, I do appreciate you taking your time to talk with me. Sadly, I do have to wrap this up because I have another thing I got to go do after.
Well, sure, absolutely.
Where can anyone find you right now? Social medias and whatnot?
I'm actually on Instagram, and also I have an IMDb, and I can supply you if you want to put a still on at the end of it. You can actually supply the QR code on the
Awesome.
on the video.
So,
but yeah, those Instagram and IMDb would be the best ones.
if you want to find
There you go.
I don't know if the QR code's actually showing up on camera, but it's there.
But yeah, if, IMDb, you look me up as Matt Halsam and look for the one that's got Godzilla, Blade 2, and Atomic Train.
Awesome.
And then, yeah, if you hit me up on Instagram, I can accept you because it's a private link. And there's so many bots on there right now.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, those are the easiest ways.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and it was good talking with you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by.
You-